Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am once again losing all faith in humanity I once had. So this YouTuber guy, Mark Rober, I didn't know who he is before I saw this, so I kind of went in blind. I'm like, okay, I've heard about this thing he's doing, let's see what it is. So he recently made a video, coming out that his son is autistic, which, cool, okay, and he's doing an organization, donation thingy. Except the organization he partnered with is Next for Autism, which is not a good, and here's why. So one of the big things people have been criticizing about this organization is that they're partnered with Autism Speaks. If you don't know what Autism Speaks is or why it's bad, that's on you, buddy. No, I'm just kidding. I'll leave some links below if you want to do more research on that, which you should because it's important, and Autism Speaks bad, that's the point. However, on Next for Autism's website, they do have a thing that says, even though we are partnered with Autism Speaks, we do not support these specific views they have on, the extra bad things. And if you think that we're still bad for partnering with them, then you're wrong. Which, no. You're still partnering with them, they're still bad. People are allowed to think you're wrong, especially autistic people who, have been harmed by these organizations. So if you thought the criticism that they're partnered with Autism Speaks, isn't a valid criticism, it is. I mean, it depends on what your idea of a valid criticism is, but, it shouldn't just be, ignored, just because they say, oh, we don't agree with them on this one thing, that doesn't erase that they're still partnering with them. And so, that aside, Next for Autism themselves does promote other harmful ideas, like ABA, which is behavioral therapy. I can't remember the full acronym off the top of my head, but it's basically, conversion therapy. Wow, amazing. So to go into more detail, this therapy is basically teaching kids at a young age, it's mostly kids, to hide their autistic traits. And surface level you read this and it's okay, because there are some harmful things like self-harm that autistic people do sometimes. I only personally do it when I'm really angry or really aggravated, and but there are some kids who just seemingly do it for no reason, so to me, I don't know much about it, to say if it's a bad thing to give therapy for that. I don't know why kids do it for no reason. So somebody who does know can educate me on that whole situation. But it's not just that they're trying to quote unquote correct. They're trying to, well, not they. I don't know who they is, but generally, a lot of these behavioralists will try to suppress any sign of autistic behavior, like stimming or like talking weird or stuff like that. I mean, speech therapy is a thing. I don't know, but there has to be a line. You can't just teach children that their behaviors are wrong and that they should conform to everybody else, you know? And some of these behavioralists, I don't know if this is recent things or just in the 60s and stuff, but they would literally use electroshock therapy to stop kids from self-harming, which if you actually cared about the kids health, shocking them isn't any better than them self-harming. So if you're going that far to prevent it, you're not really caring about their health. You're just doing it because you see a kid self-harming as strange and weird. Another problem with Next for Autism is that they are contributing to this idea of finding a gene that you can detect in autistic people, just an autism gene, I guess. And that in itself, it's kind of a neutral thing, It's maybe there's a gene, I don't know. But the thing about finding a gene like that is that it will be used to eliminate autistic people. If you can detect a gene in the womb, in a fetus before it's born, people can then abort it. You can be oh, my kid's gonna be disabled, well, better not let it live then, fetus deletus. Whether or not your opinion on abortion is if you're pro-choice or pro-life, whatever, that's still ableist as hell, and it's super gross. And it's already happening in Iceland with kids with Down syndrome. Statistically, if you look at statistics, it says Iceland, Down syndrome has been completely eradicated. It doesn't exist anymore, which, not correct. It exists, but fetuses with Down syndrome are just being aborted for having Down syndrome. They're just oh, well, that's not a full human. Better just abort that whole thing before it becomes sentient. Gross. So yeah, forgive autistic people for not wanting that to happen to us. And one of the most important things about Next for Autism is that they have no actual autistic people on their board. They just don't listen to them when they criticize them. Like, imagine a gay charity run by straight people, and, like, they just didn't have any gay people and just refused to listen to gay people. That would be whack and suspicious as heck. So, why is it an acceptable thing for organizations that supposedly help disabled people to, like, not have any disabled people on their team or listen to disabled people at all? So, that's all bad, right? And this guy's fundraiser, he's raising $1 million. At the time of recording, it's already at like 860,000 out of a million, which is so whack. Like, the video came out a few days ago and it's already like almost finished basically. Which, like, it just boggles my mind that people don't actually do research into what they're donating to. And everyone in the comments is all like, oh, this is so inspiring, because, like, most of the video is just like, here's my son, this is what he's like, and then a bunch of inspiration porn, like, whatever. And the comments are just so, like, positive, which, like, fine, like, if they're reacting to the son, like, accepting him, that's cool. But, like, they don't do any research into the organization. And this YouTuber guy, I can't be bothered to remember his name, I don't know. Mark? Yeah. He partnered with a bunch of celebrities. And, like, all these celebrities are supporting this. And a few of them have left. I don't know which ones specifically, but a few of them have left, which, like, good on them. But, there are still so many people supporting this without knowing what they're supporting. And it's just whack. And, like, none of these celebrities are autistic, of course. And very few commenters are autistic. And what, like, also just blows me away is that a couple of people who say they are autistic are like, oh wow, you're doing so great, you're such a good dad, which, like, I'm not gonna comment on, like, his parenting. I don't know what his parenting is like. He could be the greatest dad, I don't know. But just this whole thing, like, for autistic people, it's not for us. It, like, he may think it is, and people donating may think it is, but, like, this organization is not for us. And this whole thing just reminds me of the whole Sia movie situation. Like, as good as their intentions may be, how good were they really if they can't be bothered to do, like, the bare minimum of research into, like, what actually helps us and what autistic people actually think. So back to, like, the video he made in itself, it does perpetuate some harmful ideas. I mean, they're not super harmful, but, like, they're still bad stereotypes. Um, so one of those stereotypes is that autistic people will, like, never amount to anything, like, that most people consider, like, successful, like, good jobs, money, you know, which is just straight up not true. The way I phrased it sounds a lot worse than he phrased it, but he basically worded it like, money and your job and everything, that's not all important. What's important is, like, the happiness you bring into the world and, like, just treat people nicely and whatever. And, like, it kind of contributes to that whole idea that autistic people are just, like, here to further the neurotypical, like, storylines or whatever, like in fiction. That always happens. I mean, not always, but, you know. And so the message is, like, even though autistic people will never amount to anything, like, in the way that we see it, they're still, like, doing good in their own way or whatever, which, like, cool, okay, but that goes for, like, anybody. It's not just an autistic people thing. Like, neurotypicals are allowed to just exist and not amount to anything, just like autistic people are completely able to get jobs and work and even get really high paying positions as, like, whatever field they're really into. So yeah, this whole situation is just very misguided, a lot of misinformation and bad stereotypes all around. Bottom line is, you cannot simultaneously promote love and acceptance for autistic people and the whole inspiration porn bullshit while also donating to a charity that wants us gone. Like, just straight up, you can't. You're either a massive hypocrite or lying to yourself. It's as nonsense as, like, claiming to promote acceptance of all races and then donating to the KKK. You can't do it. Obviously, that's an extreme example, and I'm not saying that these organizations are, like, as bad as the KKK, but, like, the hypocrisy of this example, it's the same. It's just intellectually dishonest, and just don't do it. Do your research. Actually listen to autistic people or whatever people you're claiming to support. Yeah, just do it. So yeah, that's about it for this one. The depressing content just keeps coming. I swear I'm not turning into, like, a commentary or political channel or anything. It's just bad shit. See you next time. Bye.